Hi all, Renee here. Today what I did was I just started playing with this kaleidoscope embossing folder, trying to see how many different ways could I use this embossing folder. I think I came up with 11 cards with 11 pretty different looks. So I'll do a walkthrough of each of the cards, and then if you're interested, I turned the camera on while I was creating and just let it run. So I will speed that up and stick it here at the end if you're curious to watch how I did everything, but I'll try to walk you through. So on this first one, I wasn't sure if this one would come out because I felt like I put too much embossing powder. So what I did first was I just ran white cardstock through the embossing folder. Sorry, I have a frog in my throat. And then I rubbed it with Versamark ink, which is just a sticky ink, and then I put a clear embossing powder, and then I heat embossed it. Then I took my watercolors and just did a watercolor wash in green over it, and my hope was that it would go everywhere except where the raised parts of this embossing folder are. Well, I had too much embossing powder on and it didn't quite work the way I thought, but it turned out, I think, really cool. So I went ahead and used it. I also put a little bit of stickles right there on that heart. And for this one, I used the Smile Big. This is our, excuse me again. This is our annual fundraising stamp for Operation Smiles. This is what the stamp looks like. And I used that one. And then I just grabbed some just some little pieces of paper I had that sort of matched, and there's card one. So this next one turned out really cute, and actually let me show you, this is how I got started with the idea. Was I took Mowed Lawn, Mermaid Lagoon, and Picked Raspberry Distress ink, and I actually swiped it. Let me open this. And I actually swiped it. See, one side has Close to My Heart printed on it and the other side doesn't. So I swiped that on the side that has Close to My Heart on it. And I just did 3 swipes of the colors and then sprayed it with my water, and then very carefully put the paper on it and put it in my embossing machine. And this is what I ended up with, which I thought was amazing. But I didn't have very much of the Mermaid Lagoon, which is one of my favorite colors. So that's when I decided, okay, let's just do one with Mermaid Lagoon. And I did the same thing. I did the whole cover of it, then I spritzed it with water, and then embossed it. Now for this one, for the sentiment, it's again from this stamp set, and I used my avocado glitter pen, shimmer pen, sorry, I can never get the name right, shimmer brush, and I just colored in the word big, so it's really sparkly. You can't really, I don't think, see it here. And then I just edged the edge of the paper with Mermaid Lagoon to pick up some more of that blue. So there's card 2. So then on card 3, I used that Mermaid Lagoon and just rubbed it all over a piece of white cardstock to create that colored cardstock that matched perfectly. And this, thanks, is from an older, it's from the January stamp of the month at the beginning of the year. So unfortunately, you can't get this stamp. You can't get this one, but you can't get this one. And but you can really use any sentiment stamp you have to do this idea. And I tried to make the sentiments pretty small because I really wanted the star of the show to be this embossed background. So there's card 3. Card 4 I did on craft cardstock, and then once I did it on craft cardstock, then I rubbed it with the Picked Raspberry, and the craft and the raspberry together make this really beautiful purple. I did not expect that, but it turned out really awesome. And then this is from the Smile Big stamp set as well, and I just edged the edge of it with this Picked Raspberry. I think if I were to do this one again, what I would do is I would grab a piece of this cardstock and rub this on it to make a background paper so that it matched that purple, because that purple is so unique. Then this is also the craft cardstock, and what I did on this one, I tried to create sort of a chalkboardy effect with just the White Daisy pigment ink. just embossed it like normal, and then took this and just swiped it lightly so that it only got on the raised parts of the design. And then this Thinking of You is actually from this For All Occasions stamp set. I believe this is still available on my website. And that one turned out really, really cute too. Now this is the one that started it. This was a true chalkboard look. This is just black cardstock, embossed it the same way I did the other one, and then swiped it with the white daisy. Now this is pigment ink, so you gotta wait for it to dry. But I had so many things I had going on, it was no big deal. And then again, the Thinking of You from the For All Occasions stamp set. Oh, and the black ink that I used was just this exclusive water-based dye ink in black. Now this one, I almost threw it away. And then once I started touching it, it has the coolest like rubber feel to it. This is a great one. So I went ahead and kept it. But the way that I made this one is I embossed it on the black cardstock. Then I took my Versamark sticky ink pad, rubbed it over the top, and I rubbed it a little too hard and it got in some of the spaces. I had meant for it to only rest on the outlines of everything. But then I put white embossing powder. It's just a cheap white embossing powder I have in my stash. And put that on there and melted it. And then I thought, you know what? No, that looks really cool. And it's got this really rubbery, weird background to it that just feels neat. And then for the me, I used my grape shimmer brush and outlined the word me. And it's also shimmery, but I don't think the camera is going to pick it up. Then this one was really fun. I know this has a similar look to this one, but this one, you don't need any ink at all. All I did was embossed it in black. Now you got to make sure that you use a white core cardstock. You can do this in any color cardstock, but make sure it's got a white core to it. Once you emboss it, then I just took this, it's just an old Revlon emery board, and rubbed it and took away the black paper until I just had the white core showing on certain spots. This one turned out really well. This Wishing You Well, I believe, is also from, that's also from the For All Occasions stamp set. Then this one, I don't know if the camera is really gonna pick it up. In person, it looks really cool. This is just some glitter cardstock I have in my stash. I think it might be from Hobby Lobby. I just don't really know. It was just a scrap. And I just wanted to see what it would look like. And while it's not really noticeable on the camera, in person, you can really tell. And for this one, I also used the Thank You stamp set and just used a black cardstock to outline it to make it stand out a little bit better. Then I also did another one with that same glitter cardstock, but this time I took my archival black. This is a solvent-based ink, so this takes forever to dry. I hit it with my heat tool. I let it sit for a while, and it still needs to dry, so I can't mess around with it too much. But I just took that and rubbed it over the top and created this kind of a grungy look, but with the sparkle underneath of the glitter paper. I love the way this came out. This uses Wishing You Well, which is also from the For All Occasions stamp set. Then this one was kind of a last minute idea. This is vellum. Now I did 2 vellums, and you'll see this one in the video. I was just playing around with what would happen if I used my Spectrum Noir pens. And it does look kind of cool if you do the Spectrum Noir pens, but you got to be very careful, and it was really tedious, and I just don't have time for that today. Now this one, I did it on the opposite side, and I just rubbed it, and that might turn out kind of cool if you do all of it, because it leaves just a little bit of that white sticking out. Now I'm also wondering how this would work out if you did the color all over it and then you did the embossing. I think that would really make these white parts stand out, because it would crack, because this is vellum, so it cracks, and you'll see some of it cut kind of all the way through. That might be a really neat idea, so I may try that later. But the other one that I did, I decided not to color on it, And I thought, okay, vellum is really hard to stick down because you can see the adhesive. So what I did was I took a piece of black cardstock and I cut it down to 4 by 5¼ because I like to have the little 1/8 inch all the way around. And then I used this heavy duty sticky tape on the back and wrapped it around. You'll see that if you watch the process video after this. And then I created a flat shaker. I've seen a lot of people doing this and it was so easy. I'm gonna do a whole bunch more of these because this was so easy. And I love the way it looks. I didn't think you'd be able to see the sequins behind the vellum, but you really can. And then this stamp is actually one of the stamps from, this was a card kit, our Craft with Heart subscription service. You get a card kit every 4 months. And this was the stamp set that was in one of the kits. I don't remember which one, but I pull it out all the time and use it a lot. So I love those card kits because you can reuse the stamp sets over and over. But I love the way this came out. And because it's vellum, it has that louder sound for your shaker. So that's the last one. So I think we've got 11. Let's double check our count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So here's 11 ways to use that embossing folder, and there are bunches and bunches of more ways I'm sure that I didn't think of, or so if you can think of other ways to use embossing folders, leave a comment down below. If you happen to have a video showing how you've used your embossing folders, put a link down below. I have no problem with that, so just go ahead and leave that down below. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you'd like to stay tuned, right after this will be the process video. You get to watch that. And other than that, have a great day. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye.
Ba-da-ba. ba da ba da ba da ba ba.